We all know by now that going to bars and eating out every weekend are wasteful expenses to be avoided at all costs. However, have you ever thought how some seemingly non-wasteful expenses were secretly burning a hole in your pocket? In this video, we will tell you 6 things you think are valid expenses, but they clandestinely have a wasteful component that gets easily ignored if you don't look too closely. Books. 1. Books. Although reading is undoubtedly one of the easiest ways of enhancing your knowledge, buying physical books is the old way of going about it. Talk to any 90s bibliophile, and he will say his most prized possessions are the hardcover first editions of the Harry Potter books. Today, if you check Amazon, an illustrated edition of any Harry Potter book costs somewhere around $30. So 7 Harry Potter books today would cost you around $210, but right next to the physical books are the Audible audiobooks and the Kindle editions, which cost $0. Yes, they are absolutely free, and that's not it. You not only save $210, you also save on storage space and save the planet, as fewer trees are cut to print fewer paperbacks. While having a good reading habit in today's times of Netflix is a laudable achievement, spending loads of money on the same is not. So you can either go for digital copies or go to your local library and borrow a book, because let's face it, not all books are for keepsakes. You will only read them once, so why block out your money in them for a lifetime? 2. Branded products. Let's introduce you to the most basic concept in economics, the demand curve. The curve shows an inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demanded of any product, so the higher the price of a product, the less quantity is demanded, resulting in a downward sloping demand curve. However, branded products are an exception to the normal demand curve. In fact, branded products totally reverse this curve, resulting in an upward sloping curve instead. So the higher the price, the more quantity of branded products is consumed, and this is only true because of how we as consumers perceive branded products. We feel the more expensive they are, the better they are in quality. This is called the quality price bias, because almost all multi-billion-dollar brands misuse this bias to sell out their average products at premium prices. A simple Google search will show you that top retailers, such as Marks and sponsors, produce most of their products in developing countries, such as India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. India has the second largest number of MS factories in the world. Production costs in these countries is not even a fraction compared to that in the developed countries. So it costs these companies way less to produce the jacket you end up paying £200 for just because you were bowled over by their brand name. Another top reason why we perceive branded products as good enough to happily pay the premium price is that such purchases make us feel validated. We feel that we are earning enough to be able to afford such products. But if you look closely, such purchases are a live example of poor financial decision making. If you remove the brand from the product, the generic version of the same quality will cost you less than even half the price you will actually end up paying. Therefore, if the product is not giving you enough value, then it is always better to go for the unbranded one and invest the money you save. 3. Brand new car. Buying a car is not just a one-time expense, even if you don't get it financed. If you take into account the recurring expenses such as gas, maintenance, and insurance, the annual upkeep costs $9,000 in the US. You might be thinking, but that's the same with new and old cars. And that's exactly the point. The fuel and upkeep expenses will come with just any car. So why not pay less for the car itself so that the total cost as a whole comes down? This is why buying a new car doesn't make much sense than buying a used car with very less mileage on it. A brand new car costs somewhere around $50,000 and depreciates 20% every year. In fact, the moment you put it on the road, it depreciates by 11%. Let's look at some numbers. If the original price is $50,000 and the annual depreciation is 20%, that means a 2-year used car will cost you only 60% of the original price, which is $30,000. The $20,000 you save can be used in much better ways than putting it in your car where you will never see it again. You can reduce your other liabilities faster to get rid of bad debt, such as student loans or credit card balances, or put that into your investment account, generating cash inflow in the future. This is why cars are not considered long-term investments. They are actually liabilities at the time. Rule to achieve your net goals at every age is minimizing liabilities and maximizing cash inflow. But when you buy a brand new car, you end up doing the opposite. If you want to create personal net worth goals, check out this video on our channel to gain inspiration. 4. Technology upgrades. Are you tempted to buy every shiny new gadget that hits the market? Then the mango economic theory will completely blow your mind. Suppose it's summer, and you just bought a basket of 10 mangoes. You pick one, and eat it. You feel super satisfied. It is so juicy, sweet, and delicious that you quickly go on to the next one. Even that one makes you feel happy, so you pick a third, then fourth. By the time you are on your fifth mango, you feel like you've had enough. In fact, with each additional mango you eat, your satisfaction reduces. This is what the economists call diminishing marginal utility theory. Each time you have one additional unit of something, it gives you less satisfaction than the previous unit. Similar is the case with gadgets. When you got your first Apple iWatch, you felt like all your fitness problems came to a halt. You could count steps, listen to music while working out, take calls right from the watch, and do so much more. But the very next year, when a slightly upgraded version came out, you bought it for a few $100s extra. Did it give you the same amount of satisfaction? It sure did not, because you were already experiencing most of the features on your old watch. So even if it feels counterintuitive, it's still true that the more you upgrade, the less happiness and satisfaction you get out of it. Therefore, instead of putting money into upgrades that don't make much of a difference in your life, spend your money on something that is much more fulfilling. Travel to a new country, explore new culture, learn new things, or even invest the money you save. All of these will help you grow as a person, and you will realize what truly matters in your life. 5. Bottled water. We all know the benefits of staying hydrated. However, today big multinational corporations are misusing their influence to make us buy water that was supposed to be free of cost, while people from most developing countries need bottled water due to infected tap water. Developed country people don't yet the maximum consumption of bottled water comes from first world countries such as the US. Today we pay astronomical markups on purified tap water in the name of bottled water. However, that's not what bottled water was supposed to be. The concept of bottled mineral water started becoming commonplace in the 1970s with a company called Perrier and its $5 million marketing campaign. Initially, Perrier convinced people to pay for water by marketing it as a mineral-rich Poland spring water or fizzy water. At its peak, Perrier even supplied bottled fizzy water to Buckingham Palace under the brand the Champagne of Waters. This associated bottled mineral water with the elites who wanted to socialize at cocktail parties without consuming alcohol. However, elites were only a thin sliver of the total population Perrier wanted to target. So Perrier targeted health and fitness aficionados by convincing them that natural spring water was much more mineral-rich and healthy. Even today, top sports persons drink extraordinarily expensive Evian water to stay fit. However, in 1990, testers found benzene in some Perrier fizzy water bottles, making its market share plummet disastrously. This is when the age of purified tap water began. Coca-Cola and Pepsi grabbed the opportunity and launched Dasani and Aquafina respectively. They didn't import mineral-rich waters from natural springs across the world. They simply started selling purified tap water in plastic bottles. As people had lost faith in the so-called mineral water, tap water quickly surpassed mineral water sales. So ultimately now, we pay for just purifying the same water we get from our town. A 1-liter bottle costs us $3, and if we consume 2 liters every day, that's 6 times 30. $180 each month, or $2,160 every year per person, by simply investing in a water purifier and carrying a steel zipper bottle. We can stay hydrated on the go, so don't pay for water when it's supposed to be free. Save $2,160 every year throughout your life by investing in a water purifier just once. 6. Souvenirs. While we are talking about traveling, if you are like most travelers, you love to remember each of your trips. And therefore, every time you head out on an excursion, you end up buying useless souvenirs from the gift shops. However, do they even remind you of the time you spent ages later? Most people would say no. On top of that, most gift shops use your emotions to their advantage and sell you overpriced stuff that you can buy for $1 or $2 at the flea market, so unless it is something as unique as the Tahitian pearls, having a no souvenirs rule is a big money saver also in this era of technology. We have a much more effective way of recalling those fond memories. We can click as many photos as we want, which not only tell a better story, but they don't even occupy space in our homes.